Proto,
Yeah,
greetings.
every time,
Yeah,
man.
man, blessings. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate you coming down to the Voice office and spending some time with us. You're 35 years old this year, so it's always nice to get artists of your ilk stature uh, into the building.
Every time.
Let's get straight to the business. A Matter of Time, your fourth album.
Yeah.
I know time means a lot to you. I know you're going to talk about that, but talk about what the fans can expect from this album.
Um, just unexpected stuff, new songs, not traditional reggae music, not traditional Jamaican music, but still indigenous to the country, but just groundbreaking, like putting in new sounds, trying new things, and something different than the last project.
Was you always planning to do that anyway, or was it a case of I've done, 3 albums, 3 bodies of work. This is something I want to kind of steer and veer into a different direction.
I mean, Ancient Future was different from 8-Year Affair. That was different from 7-Year Itch. So, just going in to do a new album already, I'm not gonna try to make what I made already. So, me and Winter, I wouldn't say we had the exact idea, but we just know that we had to trust the time, trust the process, and know that, by the time we were finished, we would have had something very different and unique.
Julian Marley was in that same seat 2 weeks ago, and I asked him a question I'd like to ask you. Why do you think the world is ready for Rasta music in a way that it's never been before, or seemingly never been before? You might tell me different.
Yeah, I can't say it's ready more now than it was when Bob Monday was treading in the 70s and 80s. They seem very ready and open to it then, actually even more than now. I think right now the youths them in globally are thinking, the ones that are not consumed by the music scene that's happening. Because I mean, I've been in America a lot, and I mean the 16 17-year-old youth, them not upon no truths and rights thing. You understand? You have some of them, but it's bare mumble bang bang kill thing them really pre. So I wouldn't say that those youths are the most receptive that youths have ever been, but at the same time, there's a cross section now of people that are very open to information, and they see what's happening in the world. And the thing is that anytime the world is in crisis is always the best time for Rasta and reggae music. So seeing as how the world in crisis again and bare confusion and thing, our music will always have a spot and a voice.
Album's out June 29. No Guarantees featuring Chronics. I listened to that. Nice track. I love the way that you and Chronics come together sonically. It just suits, blends well. What was it about him featuring on this album twice, I think, that kind of had to happen from your perspective?
It wasn't even planned. I was at his house chilling one weekend, and he was like, yo, play me some stuff, like I need to feel inspired. I haven't been in studio for a while. Play me some stuff, and I started to play him some tracks from my album, and he started to catch a vibe, and he was like, yo, put me on, I need to get in studio, yo, let me do some work. So I was like, yo, let me see what. I was very pleased that he wanted to come and do some music again, so I was like, alright, let me brainstorm a bit, and gave him a track, and then he came to studio, work on it, loved it, and he was playing me something else. I played him something else, he loved it too, and he wanted to hop on, and I was very, very receptive of that. I kind of really wanted him on one song, which is Flames, which he really liked as well, so it worked out perfect.
Is there any particular part of the album, any song, any track that resonates with you more so than any other, as a special place in your heart?
No, I mean, like, I love Lessons, a song on it I really love because it's personal, but from track one with Flames with me and Chronics, kind of kicks off the album, and it just never lets up until it's done. So I am personally very pleased with it, and I think that people want my music. I think ages very well. So I think once the album comes and sinks in, and couple months pass, the true feel of it will come out properly.
If music is motivation, then whose music motivates you?
Um, right now, you mean?
No, just from take me on a journey. You know, the different phases. I can imagine different parts of your life. You had
Yeah, I
different
mean,
influences.
yeah, Ainika Mosey, Black
Mm.
Uhuru, Jay-Z, Slick Rick, Tupac for sure.
Mm.
Um, Damian Marley in 2000s, Kalanji. Right now, I listen to Chronic's music a lot. My peers,
Mm.
yeah, all type of thing.
Tell me, walk me through your journey into the business, Protoje. Not everybody knows how you became one with the music industry, became a part of the music industry. Talk to me about the decision, the moment that you made, the light bulb went off in your head and you said, yeah, this is my path, my journey.
Just coming to Kingston was first thing. Move to the city, get closer to the music, start a little sound system, select, buy a record, listen every song, learn song. Um, yeah, I just always knew that I wanted to write music and I was good at it. And once I started to dive into it some more, being on the live scene, playing every little live show around the area, working on my band, putting all of those things together, I just gradually got super prepared and got all the tools and skills I needed without knowing, and then realizing that alright, I have everything I need now to make that level of impact. And then once I got a crew of people that were on the same vibe that I was on, then it just kind of kicked in some more.
Talk about that crew, because I mean I'm not sure if the whole story of you and when you became Rasta is out there, but talk about the people that were around you and how being a Rasta influenced who you had around.
I mean, it started off with me and Janine initially, and she was very influential in me, the books I was reading, the philosophies I was coming around, and then she introduced me and Kabaka, and then, Raging Fire, Jesse Royal, Chronics, all of that kind of came together. And Rastafari was the message and the binding force. Now, we all have different beliefs, but at the same time, we can all come together under one thing, and then, putting my band together, all my band members, and getting that squad up, and then afterwards forming like my label and adding artists and visual artists and authors and videographers and photographers and all of that stuff, bringing together a real squad was a key thing for me.
Talk about some of your ambitions in music. What do you still hope to achieve? What would you like to achieve? And outside of music as well, just to give me a balanced perspective on who Protoje is.
I mean, just to continue to grow the music globally and for it to be a global force, and for it to be a force in the industry, so that youths can have something to aspire to and have jobs in the industry outside of just being an artist. But if I'm an artist and right now I have 15 people on payroll, so I mean, it's like it opens up the industry. The more successful I am, the greater that can go. The more successful, if an artist is successful, then 7 or 8 musicians get jobs immediately to go on tour. 2 videographers get job, photographers get job, chefs get job. It's like a whole industry. So to me, to just make more of an industry of it, and outside and then producing for and managing artists and talents. That's a huge thing I've always wanted to do, which I'll focus more on in the upcoming decade. And then like writing movies, I want to write screenplays and do stuff like that, and I want to be involved with that track club as well. I love track and field, and my dad is an awesome coach, and I want to do stuff like that. Anything to do with working with youth and development, like I'm into.
Okay, all right. Sounds like your plate's full.
Well, for now.
I know you're in tune with a lot of the musicians over here as well. The list of music you reeled off earlier in terms of some of your influences quite eclectic. So who's doing it for you over here now? Is anybody you'd like to particularly work with in the future? Or have you worked with everybody already? Because you're not new over here.
Nah, I don't work with everybody. I have so many people that I haven't worked with yet.
Tell me some of the names.
J5 and J Hoss,
Mm.
like that crew. Um, Georgia Smith.
Mm.
Um, like I just rate Skepta a lot as well over
Mm.
the years for sure. Stormzy. Wretch 32.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the guys you like to get in the studio with. What, to do
Yeah.
reggae or to do
No,
whatever
no,
comes
no.
natural
That's
in
whatever
the
comes
booth?
natural. I do
Okay.
anything, you know. Like
Yeah.
reggae is the hardest thing for me to do.
For real?
Every other thing else come way easier.
What's that?
Dancehall,
When did you
hip-hop.
realise that?
When I started to make reggae,
Okay.
cause like when I started to make reggae first, you know, I couldn't really. Reggae rhythms were at the time when I started to do it. It was not boring, but I just couldn't get with it. So I just write all my stuff on hip hop and then sing them on a reggae
Mm.
beat that somebody sent to me, cause I'd find it easier to write on a hip hop, cause it's flat.
Right.
Reggae is up and down and it's swing on the timing. So when I just started writing, I would write all my music on hip hop. So like even Arguments, I wrote that song on Ice Cube. Today was a good day. 8 Year Affair I wrote on Drake and 1-1. Just different stuff, and then I would formulate it into a reggae style until it became more natural to me.
How do you chill? How do you unwind away from music?
Read, watch movies, go to the beach.
So I was gonna ask you what you're reading at the moment.
I'm reading Sufferings of Young Werther. I'm reading a book called Blink, and I'm reading oh my lord, I just started one by those two. I just started a new one, but I can't remember.
So you can read more than one book at a time.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Oh, is it?
That's how I read.
Okay.
Still, I can't be one dimensional. I read like I'm in school.
Yeah.
And I'm studying and I have a curriculum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll read a book. So like Sufferings of Young Werther, I finished it, but I still keep it with me because it speaks to me. So I'll try to just read a little bit today and highlight something else and study a thought and build out this thought on my own now and have some independent thoughts about what I've read, as opposed to just read and finish and put it away. It's like more study for me.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Well, on the subject of reading, this is for my own personal understanding. What's the most impactful book you've read?
I'd say in like it's rough. Sufferings of Young Werther has been impactful in the way I treat women. Philosophically, I love Just the Wise Mind of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. It's it's a book for life. It's always good to open it and read it. And I've also loved this book called The Art of Worldly Wisdom by Baltasar Gracian. Is one of my favorite books.
Okay, all right. Where will you be, Proto, in 5 years' time? If you had control over that. We know you don't, but if you did.
I don't, so it don't make...
Well, give me a hypothetical answer then.
Healthy. Healthy and strong.
Healthy, strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Your 4 albums in, I guess is my last question. Is there a limit on how many you're going to produce? I know you said you want to move towards the management later on in your career.
There's a limit that I guess I've imposed on myself. My producer always tells me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about and that he hears it all the time and whatever, but I'm not going to be one of those guys running up and down in 15 years trying to be relevant in the music space. I have no interest in that.
Well, you've been making movies by then.
I'll be making stuff, man. I just want to live life. You know, music takes up a lot of time from your personal life. So you spend all this time touring and you don't spend the time. You see your parents getting older, you're not recognizing them. You have a youth and they walking and talking and you're not around. And you're just caught up in this traveling. You get the visa. People tell you, say, you can't come out of them country. I get searched, I get hustled. You're up and down, you're tired, your back are hurt, your bag of thing is like, it's a lot and I love it now. So I don't complain about doing any of these things, but I'm saying that in 15 years I don't want to be doing that. I want to be chilling, and hopefully I would have put together such an impressive catalog by then that I can be able to say, okay, I feel to do 2 shows in London at Wembley, and I can go and do it and go home. So like I want to do enough music, and as long as I'm, you know what it is, to be honest though, bro, it boils down to, if I'm inspired enough to do it, then I'll be doing it. And if I'm not, I'm not going to be forcing it. That's what it boils down to.
A matter of time, June 29th. Protoje, thanks for your time. I appreciate
Yes, yes, give
Blessed
thanks,
times,
enough
man.
respect.
Yeah, man.